So, Henry, you want to lead us into this next topic. This is something you came to us this week. I got a lot of verses and things to say on it, but I just want you to lead us into this. Grudges and anger. What's your thoughts on that? And
Well, I don't know. There's just been some personal issues. So I just wanted to kind of see, how does God view anger, grudges? What are some ways to avoid that? What are some ways to cope, and what are some ways to have like a proper outlet, I guess, when you feel these feelings? Because obviously you might not feel them now, but we're human. We're gonna feel grudges. We're gonna feel anger. We're gonna feel maybe even hate at some time.
Yeah, these are all emotions that'll come through us as humans. And especially it hits hard with family members or close friends or whatever the case may be. Anger and grudges just seems to, it can tear apart families, tear apart relationships. Me personally, I'll say anger is something I've struggled with my whole life, but not in the way some people do. I don't get angry about a lot of things. I'm actually pretty, I mean, for the most part,
pretty chill guy.
Pretty chill. I'm a pretty chill guy. 6'4", like long walks on the beach. No, I don't get too worked up over little things. Okay, I'll put it that way. But what I do is I let anger build up inside of me. I push everything down. It's good. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. And at some point, I let it out. It could be once every 3 or 5 months, whatever. But I just, boom.
Every couple football games.
Once every couple Jaden Daniels interceptions. No. But what I do is I push my anger down, and then I have an outburst. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. And it can be due to me holding grudges that I've pushed deep down in, like you were saying about grudges. So let's look at a couple verses here and see what God says about anger, and then see how we can kind of manage that as Christians and followers of Christ, right? So Ephesians 4:26 says, and don't sin by letting anger control you. Don't let the sun go down while you are still angry, for anger gives a foothold to the devil. So that's actually really interesting. Your anger that you hold deep and down gives a foothold to the devil, causing you, that can tempt you and cause you to sin. Maybe that looks like pride that builds up, and you say, I'm so mad at that person, and I
know I'm right.
I know I'm right. They're in the wrong. I'm either going to cut them off or get revenge. Maybe that's what goes through your head. But why does that go through your head? Because you let that anger build up, and now the devil can use that against you. You can ruin relationships because of that. You can do things you'll regret, and you can hurt a lot of people just by letting that anger build up and giving a foothold to the devil. I actually like that part where it says, don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. I grew up in a family. It's actually really interesting. I don't know why we did this, but we get in arguments, like say in the evening time, we'd get in an argument or something like that. We would just stop talking. We'd go to bed. And then the next morning we'd act like it never happened. But don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. So one thing I do with my wife now, if me and her get in an argument in the evening, we're going to fix that before we go to bed. Because if we let that just sink down and then we wake up still kind of angry at each other, still kind of bitter, you could say, it just is going to ruin your relationship. It really is. And so that was one thing I had to learn, because when we first started dating, before we were married, I was like, well, let's talk this out. And I'm like, I'm going to bed. We'll talk about it in the morning. Then I'd wake up and I'd do the thing that I was used to. I would be like all happy. I'd be like, hey, good morning, da da da. And she's like, hey, we did not talk this out. We did not discuss this like before you went to bed. And so that's why the Bible tells us, don't let the sun go down when you're still angry. If we go to James chapter 1, 19 and 20 tells us this. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. We learn there, be slow to speak, quick to listen. Listen to what people are saying. Listen why this problem might be going on. I have a problem with that. I have a problem listening during conversations. I have a genuine problem with that. And so I'm getting frustrated. I'm just letting emotions and words fly. And next thing you know, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I wasn't listening to myself.
That's it.
Next thing you know, we're talking about something a couple of weeks later. Well, I told you that. Oh, I didn't hear it. I wasn't listening, So, slow to get angry. And then we learn in verse 20 that human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. Human anger, really nothing good can come from it if we're angry at a certain person or things like that. Last verse I want to look at, Proverbs 14:29. People with understanding control their anger. Hot temper shows great fools. Okay? One of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. We have the ability to have self-control over our anger. This may take some practice. This may take some putting into effect what we're about to go over with ways to manage it. But we have the ability to control our anger. We really do.
I feel like I'm pretty good at, like, what is it? Be slow to talk, quick to listen, and what was the other one?
Yeah, yep. Slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to get angry.
So I feel like I'm pretty good at that, but I'm kind of the same way as you, where, like, I'll keep the grudges, or
You bottle everything.
yeah, I'll just bottle everything up, but then I'll usually take it out on, like, the wrong person.
Yeah.
At that moment, I'm like, dang, I should have took it off on the person that was making me feel that way, even though, like, that's what I shouldn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
I forgot where I was going with that.
Why are we so bad at remembering?
Because we're slow to listen, quick to speak, and quick to get angry.
We're the opposite.
Okay, well, let's look at a couple ways we can manage this anger, manage these grudges we're holding. The first thing we want to do is we want to pause and reflect. So we want to recognize that anger without immediately reacting aligns responses with God's guidance. And we want to align responses with God's guidance, right? So we want to recognize, okay, this conversation we're having right now, or what this person did to me 3 weeks ago, it's making me angry, okay? I'm feeling anger about this. But then that goes back to the verse, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry, right? We want to always be like, Holy Spirit, I can feel me getting angry right now. Tell me what to do. Tell me what I should do. And then, you're listening, you're being slow with your responses, and they're meaningful responses from the Spirit, right? That'll help you control your anger a little bit. So number one, pause and reflect before you make a decision and look like a fool. Or,
Yeah.
No, you said that. You said that. Not that you look like
caught
a fool. Get a haircut. No.
Love the clip of the short.
The short, yeah. No.
You caught that, right?
But you end up looking like a fool doing something you'll regret. Number two, seek reconciliation. So what you want to do is you want to address conflicts quickly and forgive others, preventing bitterness from taking root. Okay? What that means is if somebody did you wrong 2 weeks ago and you can't stop thinking about it, you want to address that in a loving manner, the way God would.
I feel like I have a perfect example, but obviously if this is actually an example of Henry, but if you don't want to have it in here. Remember when we were at the basketball game and you and I don't know to say his name, but you guys got into a fight. Not a fight, but like just a couple hands thrown. But then literally at the end of the game, you guys made up. Like it was that quick.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of that. Yeah.
Both of you, both sides of the parties.
Yep.
Like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. And he was like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that either. It's all good. You're good.
Yep.
And then they're fine.
Exactly. And that's
remember
what
I'm talking about Henry or no?
Yeah, I remember.
He remembers.
And we still lost the game
and
too.
we lost the game.
No, but exactly. You wanna squash the beef as quick as possible, right? You don't want to let bitterness.
Because then that's how the grudges happen.
That's
if you
boom, 100%. Did anyone just hear that?
I just clocked that.
It's full.
Alexi's going full. Alexi's leveling up right here. All right. Number 3 is we talked about this in the Proverbs verse. You want to exercise self-control. Avoid harsh words or actions. A gentle answer can diffuse tension. That's actually another Proverbs verse, right? So I suck at this. Okay, if somebody makes me mad and I want to make them feel the way I'm feeling right now. So, and I'm one that's pretty good with my words. I'm a writer. I can come up with words that actually will cut pretty deep, if that makes sense. So, this is something I've struggled with. I know all the harsh words. I know how to make you feel like you're less than anything, right? So, you don't want to do that.
Trust me, buddy, you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, okay? I've done that, and what it does is it makes the person feel like crap, and they don't forget what you said, okay? The fight's over, you squash the beef, but those words still are there.
Yeah.
A gentle answer, in this case, you say, you know what, you're right. I screwed up there, and I'm so sorry. If you're gentle, if you're loving, that's going to make the conversation so much easier, and you're going to get over things like that.
Still, sometimes it won't. the other person still won't be. They'll still be really defensive. You know what I mean?
100%. And
But
we can only control what
Yeah,
we
you
can
can,
control,
uh-huh.
right? So we can just still only be the loving party. Be the loving party in the conversation or in the argument. I've had conversations with people that just don't want to reconcile. They
Yeah.
don't. All they want to do is hold a grudge against me or argue against me. But you can only control what you can control. You can only
Yep.
be loving. There's one anger that I want to talk about, and that's righteous anger. What? Okay.
What?
This is anger directed against sin or injustice rather than against a personal grievance with someone. And this can be constructive if it leads to a positive change. I'll give you an example. I'm so fed up with the way I keep falling into this sin. What am I going to do? I'm going to pray to God and we're going to stop doing this sin. That's righteous anger. I'm so fed up with the way that sin has ruined my cousin's marriage, whatever the circumstance may be. I'm so fed up with the way that sin is ruining my family. I'm so fed up with the way sin is doing this. We're gonna work through this with God. That's righteous anger. We can't forget about when Jesus got angry and he flipped the tables because people made the temple a marketplace. We can't forget about that, right? There is righteous anger, but that's not the anger we're talking about today. So I just had to put that in there, that there is righteous anger, and that's anger directed directly at sin or the enemy or persecution or something like that. But this is not anger to have against the person specifically. Even if you're mad that someone is sinning and it's ruining relationships, ruining friendships, whatever, this is not an excuse to be angry at them. We're all sinners. We all screw up. We all mess up. Be angry at the sin itself. Okay? Had to get that out of the way. Final thoughts on grudges and anger.
I was about to say, Henry, it was your topic. I don't know. How do you
My
feel?
final thoughts on
Yeah.
it? I mean, I think all those verses that you gave us are pretty insightful. I'm going to need those.
Yep.
Send me those. I got to
I'll
do
send
some
them
more
to you.
studying on those.
Put them in the
But
comments.
Yep. I'll send them to you, and yeah, try your best to apply them to your life because it'll help. It'll help in a lot of ways. I know it's helped me. Whereas as I'm getting angry during a conversation, some of these verses are running through my head.
Yeah.
You know.